Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing yet, and this is me trying to figure it out. Okay, hi YouTube friends. So this is after one of my streams and I'm talking to my friend Jonathan.
Hello.
And my friend Jasmine, who went to go get chocolate. Who does like my logos and stuff, and they're also really close friends of mine. And we're talking about what the fuck I'm gonna do for my future. And trying to just like figure out like what platforms I'm gonna stay on. I talked about this a little bit in what I think is gonna be my last video. But yeah, I also just like realized talking to them, I was like, oh, I should probably record this because this is what my video thing is supposed to be about, or, you know, one of my YouTube endeavors is supposed to be about. Is about me trying to figure out what the fuck to do with everything. So, I'm about to talk about demographics because Jasmine was saying when I talked to her when she's gonna make my logo, so she interviewed me about stuff. My demographic was pretty large because I was basically like everyone and anyone who needs help with their mental health. Because, you know, that's what I want to do. And though I talk a lot about mental illness, I know that, and not everyone has mental illness, but everyone has mental health. And though that might be how I feel, maybe that's not great in terms, like that's not enough clarity for marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's...
Is this you, like, introducing your recording?
Oh, yeah, and here's Jasmine.
Okay.
So...
Hi.
So... No, you're totally fine.
I'm eating matcha paki. Thanks, John.
Matcha paki! So... Matcha paki! We're going somewhere else. This is not even the same continent. Oh, no, it is. No, wait, no, it's not. Europe and Asia are different things.
Those are two things.
I was literally thinking in my head, like, picturing a mass, like a land mass, and I was like, it's all part of the same land mass, but that's not the same continent.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm about to tell, right now, I'm gonna tell Jasmine and Jonathan what I think my niche demographics would be if I were to pick. So, I will start with the most broad one, which would be women who are interested in self-care.
Okay.
Because that's still a little more niche, right? Like, you know. And basically it would be...
Notes?
Yeah, no, go ahead, sure. Jasmine likes to be helpful and to analyze.
Wait, hold on, I don't have a place to take notes.
And
One
she likes
momento.
studying. Un momento.
Well, I have sticky notes, but I'm gonna do Google Docs. I can share this with you if you want.
What'd you say, Jonathan?
I'm not writing down anything.
That's totally fine. You don't gotta write down anything. So that would be one demographic.
Good for you!
Demographic. And then another demographic for me.
Wait. You said women interested in mental health. What age?
Millennial age.
Okay. And America or what?
No, just millennial age. Like,
They're
I
gonna
think,
need it.
I feel like, oh my god, shut up. Okay, you can't be on my video if you're gonna be like...
Alright. I'm sorry. I'll be the comic relief.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. I will... No, you're fine. You're fine. I will say, I'm sure that's not going to be the last time he'll make that kind of joke, but Jonathan's a good guy. He just likes interjecting things that are like that.
Is this like an audio recording?
This isn't gonna... No, well, I'm video recording it too.
Okay. Because I was
OBS.
gonna say, Jonathan, if you find like a clear moment, like a pause of silence before and after, then it's very edit-outable.
No, just talk. It's fine. It's totally fine. So the thing with like America and stuff, I think just because I'm literally in America, it already like it will lean that way naturally. So I think maybe the answer actually, Jasmine, is yes, but that's not like in my thought.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yes, my thought when I'm asking is the more specific you get, the easier it is for you to answer the other questions you might have about what you're doing, you know? So like, yeah, maybe in the future you might expand your audience from, let's say, for example, women interested in mental health who are millennials who live in America. But if you have that now, then you have a starting point where you can kind of like hone in on like think more specifically about them and find like a rhythm you're making and how you're making it these people and so and such so that like presumably once you like build that all out and it's regular for you and you're ready to expand, then you can expand to like, for example, Europe or Asia, or I don't know.
I think the reason why I'm hesitant to be just like America is I'm like, I don't know what the difference would be, like, because I'm not going to be like, yeah, America. And if I talked about Hollywood and stuff like that, there's a good chance that other people know what that is.
Well, if you don't know the difference, what's the difference between not knowing the difference and like being specifically American, like only knowing American trends, you know?
I don't know. Also, I think maybe other reason why I don't want to do that is because like right now, like I'm not so great with America. And when I think about America right now, it's honestly like not positive.
You're cutting out.
Here, hold on. They can hear me, but you can't. I'm gonna leave this call and join this call. So when I specifically think about America right now, unfortunately, they're not like positive things that I can think.
Yeah.
Like, right. It's just very like, we're racist. Like,
well, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna.
About it, like, the kind of person who's a millennial living in America, if they're going through extra tough shit now, you know, and they might specifically be seeking something to like de-stress or aid in their mental health due to racism and not being able to have an abortion and other shit. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm just gonna brush over this.
Okay, so, like, to be honest, like, this is why I don't want to do that. Because I get really mad, and honestly, talking about, like, the political state of our country, like, makes me super depressed.
Right.
And so, like, I don't want to address that, and
right.
I specifically don't.
I'm not saying you are going to talk about America. If you were to have your demographic be primarily American. It would just be like, oh, now that I know that this is the group I'm catering to, it's like smaller shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna post my Instagram posts at this time of the day because that's when Americans are awake. That kind of thing.
Well,
you
yeah,
know, like
because
you broadcast on Twitch at a certain time that like mostly Europeans tune in because
I do.
A lot of people are at work in America.
That is very true. Okay, so I understand what you're saying now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be honest, I do that literally because it fits my schedule. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I do it because
it was a choice. I thought you kind of were interested in Europe, I guess.
No.
But they get free healthcare, and that's another reason why maybe they care less.
No, I picked it because it's like, you know, like I work at night. Like I'm a dance teacher and that means at night. And I'm not interested in being a late night streamer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just not, like I don't want to do that at the end of the day. That sounds like the worst time for me because I'm like, oh, I'm tired now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have no fucking tolerance for any of this.
Yeah,
so yes, and I love my audience. It's cool that everyone's like from Europe and other countries, because yeah, everyone in America is like working hard for the money, so hard for it, honey. Yeah, so I mean, That's funny. Yeah, I didn't pick it. Like, I picked it out of necessity. Not like, I'm gonna target Europe. Hell yeah!
Right.
So I guess for everything else, it would be like America. Because I will publish for American time, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So American women who are millennials would basically be like my main target. So that's one of the demographics. And then another
But you also don't want to lose your boys.
Yes. So I'm just gonna like name all the demographics I'm thinking about, but I don't know how I'm gonna do them.
Go ahead.
Because I mean, I wouldn't pick just towards males because I'm not a male. Like, and I feel like I don't want to. I don't want to.
Poser.
I don't want to be a poser. Yes, I don't want to be a poser, and I don't want to speak specifically towards something that, you know, obviously I don't know.
You're doing the opposite of mansplaining. You're woman not splaining.
Oh, that sounds bad though, because it's like woman shutting upping. Which that's not what it is, but when I think of complete opposite, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, you know, my male demographic, they are important to me. Okay, that is important to me. So next niche would be minority mental health for millennials. So that would be my other niche market, because I mean, it is something I'm passionate about, and like low key, like, you know, like I am inviting everyone and anyone on my podcast to talk about it, but I am very much interested in having minorities talk about it, because minority people, like, you know, a lot of immigrant families and stuff, or just minorities, like talking about your mental health and stuff is not a thing. It's like less okay, you know? And I'm sure there'll be some people who'll be like, that's fucked up, you're just trying to divide us more. And I'm like, no, highlighting something is not the same as dividing. I'm not trying to take away. I'm just saying this experience is like...
You're helping those who are in minorities who happen to have a situation that might be common where they need to address their mental health away from their family. Their family has not addressed it.
So minority mental health for millennials, and then the last one would be getting even more specific, would be Asian. Like Asian mental health for millennials. And I don't know if I want to go that specific.
That's also not necessarily specific. All Asians?
Yeah, Asian Americans with the immigrant experience. That. I don't know if I would want to do that. Just because, I don't know, because I feel like, is that in itself also like the last two demographics, I'm like, is this also just going to be, is this niche going to help me because there are less people and so there are less people doing it? And I'm really filling a void that needs to be filled? Or am I going to be trying to fill a void that the same demographic I'm going to are just like, we're not listening to this because we don't want to talk about our mental health, you know what I mean?
I understand that worry. I don't think you need to worry about that. I think, I mean, that might just be because you're Asian and like, so there's always going to be some people like that. And yeah, there's always going to be people like, the minorities, why? But I'm going to tell you this, even though when I tell myself this, I don't believe it, but maybe it will help you.
Okay, fair.
When you're talking about filling a niche, that like may already be filled or whatever, there's like a bajillion people in the world, and like there will be people who will follow you and benefit from what you have to offer, no matter if it's like the same thing as what someone else is offering, because it's what your spin is on it, it's your personality on it, and they might connect to that. I don't think you should worry about that kind of thing, because like technically there's like no new ideas
Yeah.
in the world. And that's what my next question is going to be about, but we'll finish this conversation first. Like, I think these demographics are valid, and they might be even broader than you think they are.
Oh yeah, because I can super niche. Oh, I forgot one of my niches, but it's also a broader niche.
That
Or demographics. I forgot. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't think I had anything else to say.
Oh, okay.
What's your other niche?
Okay, so before that, I want to say it's really funny because literally I think in the video that's going to go along with this that I recorded on stream for this part of my YouTube channel literally was me talking about that. But it's nice to hear you say it because it's one thing for me to learn it and hear it as a thing like from other people, and it's another thing for like a friend to say it who also has like experience doing that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Are you talking about this void shit?
Yeah. Like how like, you know, being you is an actual like real thing, and it's not just about like rainbows and butterflies, but it's literally like a good marketing tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, this is like probably advice I should take, but I don't. But I think it's true for you, and I guess for me, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's hard to feel it. It's like one thing to know something, another thing to like feel and know something, you know?
Mm-hmm. So like when I was more active on Instagram too, it wasn't as terrible because I wasn't posting like pictures of my face. But it became it was a lot of like, there's so many other artists doing what you're doing and better and more successful, and like it's not as hard for them, and like there's no way you can like get in on this, so like why try?
Mm-hmm.
But that shouldn't be a reason to quit. I say not believing myself.
Oh my god.
I think all of your art is great.
Yeah,
Thanks,
your art is
Boo.
great.
Thank you. Circle jerk.
Circle jerk. Circle jerk. Yeah, no, your art is great though. Jasmine does my logos and stuff. So when you see my logo, Jasmine made it. Just so y'all know. Okay, so my last niche thing is basically artists with mental health issues. And again, it would still be like millennial based. I don't know actually. I might be my if I go the art way, I might be like millennial and then the next age group over. Like the latter end of millennials to like the first half of whoever is the generation in front of us.
What do you mean in front? Younger?
Like no, older.
Older. Generation older than us, whatever they are called.
Gen Z,
No, that's after.
That's
us.
after.
Gen Y.
Generation X! Are they
That's-
Generation
that's-
X? Or was that just a Spice Girl song?
It might be. Whatever. I'm not.
It goes in order. X, Y, Z.
Generation X. Do you know what song I'm talking about? Generation X.
No,
Hold
but
me
at that
down,
90s
feel
party,
the
it
noise.
was the Spice Girls. Oh my god, this girl,
Picking
this
up some
Baby
light.
Spice.
Yeah.
But all she did was she wore a blonde wig with pigtails, and she wore like this pink dress. She looks a bit Stranger Things, and I don't think that's 90s, and I don't understand what this is. But then she posted a photo with like the 4 other Spice Girls, and I was like, oh, she's Baby Spice.
I get it. Okay.
Well, question.
Yes.
Define artists.
Like dancers, visual artists, musicians, like artists, like those kind of artists.
Okay.
Yes.
Creative people.
Creatives. Yeah. So that's the other thing. Because that's
So what you are, so this list I'm writing, this is just you.
Yeah.
You're trying to appeal to people like you, which makes perfect sense. That's exactly what I think
I should be doing, because I'm like, who am I? Like, I'm not a mom.
You know you.
I don't appeal to moms.
You know your experience, and then you have something to share. And the easiest thing is to tap into the people who have things in common with you, and guess what? That will grow once they share you with the people they know.
Yeah.
So what you have listed here, what I think you should do is, start with that. Have this be your target, and as your community grows, then you'll learn more about who is actually attracted to the content that you make.
Yeah, so oh god, I need to meet your friend soon. I'm meeting your friend soon. But I will talk about this shortly. So what's also here, this will make things more confusing, not less confusing. Just so you know. So I'm thinking about how to start also building a community in real life, because I think that can help also just build my online following.
Okay.
You know? Like the talk I did yesterday for my friend and her sister, like that is their passion project, and they're making a community, like out of like the people that, they're making a community. And like half those people are like people that they already know and stuff, but like love following them because they're like great people. And I was also listening to a podcast that was very much about that, where it's just like the whole thing was like, make a community. Numbers don't necessarily matter past a certain point, because you just need enough people to help sustain what you're doing, and then like it will grow from there. But having like a nice core is really important. And there is something to say, like there, in real life communities, not that there is any less validity on online communities, because obviously they're very strong, they're very valid, but there is something about like having people, like physically being with other people and creating a community with them, and how that's really strong. And so I'm thinking about what kind of events I can make, or what kind of things I can do, like workshops, to do that, and then further grow my online community. Because the people you meet in person, those are the people you send like your email, like they sign up for your email, like subscriber list and stuff. And so I'm thinking about how to do things like in person and what can be helpful that way. And for me, I would want to do stuff that incorporates like movement and touch and kind of dance, but like mostly like having something where it can be a group of people interested in mental health. And then I do want to put art into there, because that is my thing, like my end goal is to like marry art and mental health. So the kind of event I would want to throw would be that.
Okay.
And what that looks like, or what I think that looks like, I'll save for another time, literally because of time restraint.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I have questions, but I can ask them a different day.
Well, that's fine. You can ask them. There's some time. There's some time. I just need to. Jonathan, do you have any questions?
I don't. I'm just wondering, like, it's kind of hard. It's hard to tell, like, what you would want, as a person seeking out mental health in terms of, like, a channel or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of still can fall on your lap sometimes. Well, my guess is if you have kind of been like orbiting what demographics you really want, you maybe don't have an answer to this, but have you like researched similar brands or companies or personalities or other people who are doing something that you would be wanting to not necessarily copy, but be inspired by?
No. Honestly, no. And honestly, it's because of fear. Because I get so comparative. Like, and it's not competitive at all. It's literally stupidly comparative in a negative sense.
Yeah, I getcha.
And I know I need to do it, you know, like I don't want to copy people, but I need to look at what people are doing just to draw some inspiration. But it's really hard for me because I get so comparative and then down on myself, and then I'm like, imposter syndrome forever.
I super get that way too. I was gonna suggest, like, maybe we can sit down and both do it together, so when we both feel frauds, that it's not as bad.
And then the other person's like, no, you're fine!
yes, actually, exactly that.
Yeah, then maybe that's something we want to look at doing. Because it's just, like honestly, like, it's really hard. Like, I've been working on my confidence. It's just, like, it's just so hard, like, to not get discouraged, and I'm, like, very afraid of putting myself back in the same position where I was with, like, Instagram, and where I was just like, oh shit, like, I'm actually becoming, like, depressed, like this is getting fucked up. And so, like, and it's not, and the thing is, like, I know realistically, like, I'm not the same person I was when I did that. And so there, you know, there's a very real chance that it can be very different this time. It's just, I think I get so anxious about that I'm just like, I don't know if it's okay for me to approach this yet.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's always people being like, well, there's never a perfect time. And I'm like, no, I understand that. But I also, like, I have mental illness. It's not always just about a perfect time. It's like, literally, do I have, like, the coping mechanisms right now? Do I have, are my emotions in regulated enough? Like, am I in a place where I can actually look at things for what they are while I'm doing it and not just get caught up in, like, with everything else, and then it to turn into a downward spiral? Because it's like, that is a logistical thing I have to think about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it makes everything harder. Boo! That's how I feel about it. Boo!
Yep, get that.
But it's like, it's real, you know? And so it's like, I'm finding the balance really difficult, to be like, hey, am I ready for this, or am I just forcing myself to be ready for this? Because one is great and, you know, like, is a higher chance of success, and then the other one, even if I succeed or not, I still might be hurting myself mentally.
Right.
So. And now it's come to end this recording of this thing that I have not named, but I'm going, this sounds like an outro song, and I'm totally fine with that.
My phone ringing.
It's funny, but I'm going to use it as an outro song for now.
Okay.
So thank you, Jonathan and Jasmine, for joining me and having this conversation with me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, what? Oh, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Well, yeah, thanks for letting me basically just record, because I was just talking to them for, like, a while. But until next time, people on my YouTubes, we'll figure this out. It will be okay. My YouTubes. We'll figure it out. Okay, bye.